Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to my first ever episode of Random Movie Reviews. If you guys don't know what random movie reviews are, I just review random movies. It could be good movies, bad movies, it could be the movies leading up to that movie, or it could be movies that can just pop out of my head. And since I saw Thelma and Louise at my media class this week, I decided why not review this movie? It's actually the only Ridley Scott film that I actually haven't seen. The only thing I heard about this movie is that Geena Davis and Susan Sarandon's in it with Brad Pitt, and also the ending scene where the car jumps off the cliff. That's the only thing I know about Thelma and Louise. So, now I watched it, what do I think of it? So guys, this review might contain some spoilers. If you have not seen Thelma and Louise, or you just watched the trailer of the movie, you have been warned because it's very different than you think it's going to be. So Thelma and Louise came out in 1991 and it's directed by Ridley Scott and stars Geena Davis, Susan Sarandon, Brad Pitt, Matthew Madsen, Harvey Keitel, and Christopher McDonald. And this movie is about these two women named Thelma and Louise, played by Geena Davis and Susan Sarandon. They're both going on this weekend fishing trip to get away from their everyday lives until when a rapist is trying to rape Thelma. Louise shot this rapist and now they changed it to ordinary women to outlaws. The police are all looking for them and they have to try to get out of that situation. Now, I really love Ridley Scott. I think Ridley Scott is a great director. I think he directs a lot of great films like Alien, Gladiator, etc, etc. He does a lot of great films, and I think Thelma and Louise is the only film from him that I haven't seen, as I said in the opening of this video. So, at school, we watched Thelma and Louise as kind of like a school topic, and I'm very interested to see the film when I first got into it, because I love Ridley Scott as a great director, and that's all I heard about that. Geena Davis and Susan Sarandon in it, and I think they're really great actresses, and I watched the movie, and I gotta say, I don't know why I didn't watch this movie in the past, because this movie was really freaking good. What I really like about Thelma and Louise is that it's very different to any other road trip movies we've ever seen. Actually, the trailers of this movie mislead this movie. Everyone thought this is going to be like a two-women road trip movie. It didn't show anything with the plot of the movie, and I just thought it's going to be a road trip movie at the start until the rape scene came, and that's when I'm very interested in the story of this movie. I think every character does a really great job in the film. The chemistry between Geena Davis and Susan Sarandon as Thelma and Louise is fantastic. I thought they work really well together. I think the characters are very strong, very realistic, and also they're very heartfelt in a couple of scenes, and you do fall for them in the entire film. You do root for them in some scenes, you do feel bad for them in a lot of scenes, and that's how I think Thelma and Louise are probably one of the most badass women that I've ever seen on screen. This movie came out in 1991 and I think it does still hold up to this day. Also, the other characters in this movie were also fantastic. Like Brad Pitt as JD is so cool in this movie, I gotta say. This is his first movie and I was literally shocked that was his first movie, and he did a great job. And probably that's how Brad Pitt came out as one of the most iconic actors till this day, because he was fantastic as JD. Probably one of the most iconic shots by him of all time, and that's when everyone discovers him. And I think he does a really great job as JD. He's actually kind of a badass in this film as well. Also, Michael Madsden, also really great in this film. I didn't even know he was going to be in that film. I loved him in Reservoir Dogs and other Quentin Tarantino films. This film, he was great in the film. And the chemistry between him and Louise is also really, really good. But also Brad Pitt and Geena Davis' chemistry was really good. Like, usually with romances in movies, you just feel like, oh, it's cliched in so many parts. The romances in this movie, I was okay with it. I was great with it. And I think everything about the romance in this movie was really freaking good. Also, Harvey Keitel as this investigator was probably one of my favorite parts of this movie. I thought he was just so great. He's one of the most realistic characters that I've ever seen in a movie. And he's just one of those characters that you just figure out he's the only one that could understand that situation, and he did a really great job in the film as well. Also, the cinematography in this film looks absolutely amazing, and I know Ridley Scott is really great at handling cinematography. The look of the Grand Canyon scenes and all that looks absolutely amazing in the film, and also the score by Hans Zimmer was so great in the film. This is such a blind watch, and now I got the score of this movie right in my head, because the score in this movie was absolutely spectacular. I root for the whole movie from start to finish. I wouldn't say this is the best film I've ever seen in my life. There were a couple of problems with the film. Like, first off, this is kind of like a dark comedy as well in a couple of scenes, and they introduced some other characters that, honestly, I don't even care about in the film. There's this trucker character in the film that literally just comes out of the middle of nowhere, and I'm just thinking, he has nothing to do with the story. He just came out in the middle of nowhere and Thelma and Louise just bust him up and all that stuff. And I gotta say, the ending shot in the film, it's not a flaw of the movie, but it's one of the most coolest shots that I've ever seen in a film. It's very mixed, the ending. Some people say, oh, that doesn't make sense. All that is very iconic. But I gotta say, that shot of the car flying off the cliff, it's just worth seeing. Like, the ending of this movie looked absolutely amazing. So guys, overall, Thelma and Louise is a good road trip movie, a good crime committing film. Great chemistry between Geena Davis and Susan Sarandon. Also, the other characters were very fantastic in the film, except for that driver character, that trucker character. I didn't really like him. This is a really good crime thriller, also dark comedy road trip movie that I did not expect to be that genre, and I think it works for this movie. I'm going to give Thelma and Louise a big thumbs up rating. So guys, that is my random review of Thelma and Louise. Guys, comment below, let me know what you think, and make sure you guys follow me on Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, Twitter. Keep contact with me, and you decide.